let's start with Miguel and Lindy.
All right, let's start with Miguel and Lindy.
All right. So we see them come back to the apartment. First of all, everybody liked their little apartment. For the most part, it was better than where everybody stayed, for the most part. Okay. But we see Miguel and Lindy. They're laying, I think, were they on a couch? Or were they in their bed then? I don't know. But they're sitting there talking about D-Day, Decision Day, and how that's a trigger word for her.
Yeah, she's so nervous about this D-Day situation, and I think he made her that way because he talked about the 8 weeks, and I don't know what I'm going to do after 8 weeks, and I'm only here for 8 weeks when it was on the honeymoon. I think she's triggered that because she wants to be married for life. Mm-hmm. She doesn't want this to end up in a divorce, and she doesn't want to do it again. She wants to be married for life.
Yeah, and, you know, she says, like she said, it stresses her. He's at the point where he's happy. He thinks, you know, it can work out or whatever. And he actually brings up D-Day intentionally because he's like, I'm trying to be realistic. And it's not that I want to end, but, I mean, D-Day is coming. Mm-hmm. And so I'll jump ahead a little bit. They came up with another word, so they don't want to talk about D-Day. But she says, let's call it Vow Renewal Day. Yeah. Because that makes it better to her. So, not D-Day, but
Vow Renewal Day.
Vow Renewal Day. They like their little new living space, and she has cats, and he jokes about being allergic to cats and with a straight face.
He had me fooled though.
Mm-hmm. But he's not allergic to cats. He was like, I just avoid them. She was like, do you take Benadryl or whatever? He was like, no, I just avoid them. And he was like, truthfully, I'm not allergic to cats. She was like, gosh, you got me.
Nah, he's a straight face liar. To me, it was so good that he was lying. That, like I said, he fooled me and fooled a lot. I think he fooled a lot of you guys as well. Miguel's a good liar. Mm-hmm. Made me think, what else is he lying about? What else has Miguel lied about or pulled over her eyes? Or is Lindy just that gullible? Mm-hmm. And how long he been keeping the lie up? Because she really thought that. So when did he tell her that she was allergic to cats? That he was allergic to cats?
I don't know. Which, again, goes to her stress and her anxiety when it comes to D-Day. Mm-hmm. Because she's like, it don't make sense to keep bringing it up. But
yeah, because he could lie to her until he gonna say no. I mean, gonna say yes, and he go back in there and say no. Mm-hmm. And do it with a straight face.
Yeah, so she's leery that they could spin out. But anyway, so they wake up the next morning, and she says, I found out that I snored. And he was like, actually, you snored in Mexico. I just didn't say anything. She's like, oh, wow. Okay.
Well, she never knew she snored before.
No. So from there, they go to see each other's places. And they go to his place, and she's like, oh, it's a cute little open space. Mm-hmm. To me, quite similar to some of the other people's places. Like studio stuff.
But his wasn't that bad though.
No, it wasn't, but they got some small places.
Yeah.
But he was like in the kitchen. That's where it all goes down. He likes to cook, so that's his favorite place. She sees his protein there, but she also finds some leftover bacon grease, and she was like, do you actually use that? He was like, yeah. She was like, please, no bacon grease for me.
He's like, nothing goes to waste here. Nothing goes to waste. I'm using bacon. Now, mind you, I'm sitting here counting. Like, y'all been on a honeymoon for a week. You've been dating. y'all been on a honeymoon for a week, and then you had the marriage, and you kept bacon grease in the refrigerator. I don't see. I'm sorry, I'm old school. We kept bacon grease on the stove.
Oh, okay. I thought you were trying to say something else.
We kept bacon grease on the stove. I had never seen anybody put bacon grease in the refrigerator.
No, yeah. You just leave the bacon grease out. I thought you were saying something else like, why does he have bacon grease after that time? I was like, you already...
Yeah, why does he have it at that time? But if you did have it at that time, why would it not be on the stove or out? Why would it be in the refrigerator?
You must have put it in the refrigerator before he left.
It got hard. I mean... I don't know.
I mean, it's gonna get hard.
Y'all know y'all grandmother had that can of grease. Or your parents had that can of grease sitting on the stove. Did. I'm just saying.
And did. But he shows her his workspace, and he was like, I have my little toy. She was like, are you working or playing? He was like, I mean, in between I play with the toys, but You know, she's like, I can see he's organized. I can tell from the way his apartment is that he's got a lot of layers. I'm looking forward to pulling that back.
And he was happy about his stuff, the little table that raised up so he can eat and watch TV. Like, look at this. Watch what I can do.
And she was like, I feel like you're a scientific meathead. I don't know if she said scientific, but she was like, he's a meathead, but look at this smart stuff you got going on too.
Like a nerd meathead or something like she said.
Yeah, he shares his collection of Dungeons and Dragons books, and he calls it his Bible. And she was like, gosh, so sacrilegious. He's going to keep doing it. It's going to be an issue.
Same thing I was thinking, like, you pray to the God of Dungeons and Dragons. I'm like, you keep talking about her religious beliefs. If you don't believe in it, that's fine. You said it was cool, but don't keep throwing...
Oh my gosh, she keeps throwing jabs and being very sarcastic about it.
And she's like, don't be sacrilegious. She understood the importance. She still does that.
Yeah, at one point he says going to the bathroom and he comes out, he's got his costume on. It's his alter ego. He's Bear Man.
That's really creative. That's creative. I'm sorry. That's really creative.
What's creative about?
I was being sarcastic.
Oh, I'm like...
Being sarcastic. It's not creative at all. Bear Man, right? Bear. And she was like, oh, maybe we can wear that later. Or you can wear that later.
No,
whatever. No.
Absolutely not.
Don't come to me.
No. But in his vignette, he talks about how, you know, the connection that they've developed in a week. Sometimes it's taken him months to years to develop that. So, you know, he's surprised by that. And, you know what? They didn't go to her place.
Didn't go to her spot.
Well, at least we didn't see it. I'm sure that they probably went.
Yeah, but we didn't see it. We didn't see them go to her spot.
Because next thing we see is him coming home with some flowers for her. He's got one in between his teeth. And she's like, oh my gosh, she brought me flowers or whatever.
Oh, being so romantic.
Romantic. And so they have a conversation again, like I said, about D-Day and how we're going to change it to vow renewal day. And, you know, he says, in the beginning, I was looking for a reason to, you know, back out. But you're winning me over. And, you know, I don't necessarily feel that way anymore. And I think we have it in us to fall in love with each other. And
he was a runner. I think he's still looking away for a run. I think he's still looking for a way to get out.
Yeah.
If something doesn't go right. Because he said that's his MO. That he ends things quickly. Or he ends the relationship. So I think he's looking. She might be making him comfortable. But he's still searching. Mm-hmm. I mean, that 1 week hadn't changed him that much.
But
I'm sorry.
It's funny that you said, because she says, you know, she's never gotten this comfortable with someone before. And, you know, the one thing she said about him is he doesn't keep her guessing. She knows where he's coming from. And, you know, he's transparent, which is not necessarily true because he lied about the cat. But anyway.
But see, she's speaking out of both sides of the mouth, not to jump forward, because when they met with Pastor Cal, she said she doesn't want him to be so transparent. She doesn't want to know certain things. Like when she... You know what I'm saying? Like when she mess up or when she do things, do you want to be transparent, or you just don't want to be transparent when it comes to things that you do that irritates him? Mm-hmm.
I think that's what it is. She doesn't want to be transparent when it comes to things that irritate. Because what he shared with Pastor Cal is, you know, that her concern is, you know, she needs reassurance about the permanence of it. And his thing is, Pastor Cal talks to him, he was like, you know, I've often stayed in a relationship even though I've felt some time before that I need to go. And so when I tell the other person, they're surprised, but I've already been there.
Oh, yeah.
I've already been there. And so, you know, she's like, I'm concerned about his feeling because you feel like you're in love and then you might just come out of it. How, you know, it might be easy for you to just fall out with me because you're not feeling it. And then I won't know. But then she also says, don't tell me.
Don't tell me.
Doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
She would want him to tell you so you can try to fix it, get it right, to deal with it. And that's what I had an issue with Pastor Cal because he never really gave them kind of advice. If that we saw. Mm-hmm. He never really gave them advice on that situation, which could have been a major issue. How do they handle that? How do you fix this? What can I do to... alleviate my feeling on this, or what can he do to, you know what I'm saying, what can we do, this is our issue we're having, how can we fix this? Mm-hmm.
The only other thing that Lindy talked about with Pastor Cal was the fact that, you know, she was like, everything's going well, but she wants to see the realness, you know, the conflict, how we deal with the conflict. And Pastor Cal said, I mean, it's inevitable that you're going to have issues or whatever, but don't invite the conflict.
Yeah.
Don't just
Trust
you know,
me.
let it come.
Let it go. I mean, you're going to be married. If you married, any married person understand that you're going to have conflicts. You're going to have disagreements. Like Pastor Cal, I totally agree. You let it flow. You let it come when it comes. But while you waiting for it, what they should be doing is setting rules of engagement. Mm-hmm. How do we argue, right? What does argument look like for Miguel and Lindy? Do we go Miguel or do we go Rachel and Jose where I lock you out? You know what I'm saying? Or do we have a civilized discussion? I'll let you speak, I speak, and we try to fix this thing in the middle. I think that's why they're waiting for the major blow up to come. They should try to figure out what the rules of engagement are. Mm-hmm. You know.
So that was really it with Miguel and Lindy.
Nothing major this time.